Jaya Gopi Jayana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajakacarya Ashtotar Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada flooding the whole world with a tidal wave of super ecstatic Krishna Prema Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru Ngranga. All glories to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Is there a book? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 25, The Glories of Devotional Service. Text 18. Jñāna-vairāgya-yuktena bhakti-yuktena ca ātmanā paripaśyati udāsīnaṁ prakṛtim ca hata-ojasam jñāna-vairāgya-yuktena bhakti-yuktena cātmanā paripaśyati udāsīnam prakṛtim ca hata-ojasam jñāna-vairāgya-yuktena bhakti-yuktena cātmanā paripaśyati udāsīnam prakṛtim ca hata-ojasam jñāna-vairāgya-yuktena bhakti-yuktena cātmanā paripaśyati udāsīnam prakṛtim ca hata-ojasam prakṛtim ca hataujasam. Jñāna-vairāgya-yuktena. Bhakti-yukena cātmanā. Paripaśyati udāsīnaṁ. Prakṛtim ca hata-ojasam. Jñāna-vairāgya-yuktena. Bhakti-yuktena udāsīnaṁ. Paripaśyati udāsīnaṁ. Prakṛtim ca hata-ojasam. Jñāna-vairāgya-yuktena. Bhakti-yuktena cātmanā. Jñāna-vairāgya-yuktena. Bhakti-yukena cātmanā. Paripaśyati udāsīnaṁ. Prakṛtim ca hata-ojasam. Vaishnavis. Jñāna-vairāgya-yuktena. Bhakti-yuktena cātmanā. Paripaśyati udāsīnaṁ. Prakṛtim ca hata-ojasam. Jñāna-vairāgya-yuktena. Bhakti-yuktena cātmanā. Jnana, knowledge. Vairagya, renunciation. Yuktena, equipped with. Bhakti, devotional service. Yuktena, equipped with. Cha, and. Ātmanā, by the mind. Paripaśyati, one sees. Udāsīnaṁ, indifferent. Prakṛtim, material existence. Cha, and. Hata-ojasam, reduced in strength. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. In that position of self-realization, by practice of knowledge and renunciation and devotional service, one sees everything in the right perspective. He becomes indifferent to material existence, and the material influence acts less powerfully upon him. Purport. As the contamination of the germs of a particular disease can influence a weaker person, similarly, the influence of material nature or illusory energy can act on the weaker or conditioned soul, but not on the liberated soul. Self-realization is the position of the liberated state. One understands his constitutional position by knowledge and vairagya, renunciation. Without knowledge, one cannot have realization. The realization that one is the infinitesimal part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit makes him unattached to material conditional life. That is the beginning of devotional service. Unless one is liberated from material contamination, one cannot engage himself in devotional service of the Lord. In this verse, therefore, it is stated, jñāna-vairāgya-yuktena. When one is in full knowledge of one's constitutional position and is in the renounced order of life, detached from material attraction, then, by pure devotional service, bhakti-yuktena, he can engage himself as a loving servant of the Lord. Paripaśyaty means that he can see everything in the right perspective. Then the influence of material nature becomes almost nil. This is confirmed in Bhagavad-gītā. Brahma-bhūtaḥ prasanatma. When one is self-realized, he becomes happy and free from the influence of material nature, and at that time he is freed from lamentation and hankering. The Lord states that position as mad-bhaktiṁ labate param, the real state of beginning devotional service. Similarly, it is confirmed in the Nārada Pañcarātra that when the senses are purified, they can then be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. One who is attached to material contamination cannot be a devotee. Om Gyan Tirayamnisa Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurul Militamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Svatpitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Karanmayam Dadati Svam Padantikam. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Sankarshan Dasarikari Dinamine Namo Prabhupada Nuka Premamuti Kipatmane Gaurde Shivakarsha Uttama Bhakti Varshane Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Dinamine Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gaurvani Pachadine Nivishesha Shunivadi Paschatyade Satadine. Translation again. In that position of self-realization, by practice of knowledge and renunciation and devotional service, one sees everything in the right perspective. He becomes indifferent to the material existence, and the material influence acts less powerfully upon him. Srila Prabhupada makes a really nice point to start off this purport, talking about how this material infliction is a kind of like a disease, like a germ. And we hear this a lot, that this material condition of life is a diseased state, and we have to take the proper medicine to become relieved from it. So we have to develop a strong spiritual immune system. Like Prabhupada here is saying, that a weak person can become inflicted by disease. So if we develop a strong spiritual immune system, then this material existence influence will not act on us as strongly, and we can come to a point where it won't act on us at all, because we're firmly situated in our original spiritual position. So this Krishna consciousness movement is meant for that, reawakening our original identity as spiritual beings, servants of Krishna. So we have to become strong in our sadhana. This is the medicine. This is the way to develop a strong immune system, by following this Krishna consciousness path as given to us by Srila Prabhupada. And the easiest way to begin this is by obviously chanting and hearing, and coming to a point of developing what's called Shastra Chakshush, or seeing through the eyes of the scripture. So if we can begin to see through the eyes of the scripture, then naturally realization will come, and then we'll be able to detach ourselves from this material life. So if we can see through the eyes of the scripture, by studying it, of course, by developing knowledge, Prabhupada's describing in the purport that first comes knowledge, then renunciation and realization. So, if we meditate on teachings that are given to us in the Bhagavad-gītā and the Srimad-Bhagavatam through the via medium of the spiritual master, this becomes very simple and easy. For example, Krishna says in Bhagavad-gītā, Matra sparshasta kuntaya sitosna shukadukada agama paino nityas tam stitikshashva bharata. So he's saying here that the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress are just like winter and summer seasons, and they arise simply from sense perception. One who learns to tolerate them is not disturbed. So if I can understand that, I can receive this knowledge, I can meditate on this verse, I can meditate on similar shlokas like this, and then realization will come, because you think about it, you start to experience that happiness and distress come and they go. Just like now it's hot, it's the summer of August, the peak of summer, but soon the fall time will come and then the winter. So if we can learn to tolerate these things, we won't be disturbed. So we can remember these different verses and shlokas and then develop deeper and deeper realization from them simply by remembering them. Yeah. So the first also step we have to take this process very seriously. Krishna also says in Bhagavad-gītā, tadvidi pranipratena paripaśyati sevaya upadekshanti te ganam jnaninas tattvadarshanaha. Meaning that we have to surrender to a bona fide spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, render service unto him, because he can reveal the knowledge unto me, because he has seen the truth. So that's the first step also, is we have to take this process seriously. We can't take it something cheaply and something wishy-washy and just dabble our toes in this Krishna consciousness, like come, for the temple, for the kirtan. But as soon as I'm asked to do some service, I just kind of slip away, or I don't want to hear the classes, or I don't want to chant 16 rounds or follow the 4 regular principles. There's so many excuses. But the first step is surrendering one's life unto the bona fide spiritual master. And if we can do that, then knowledge can be given to us, realization can come, and we can slowly become detached from this material entanglement. So it's very simple that understanding that our constitutional position is that of a servant to Krishna, Jivara Sarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nitya Das. So if we simply realize this, then naturally we become detached from this body and this material desires, because we realize our constitutional position is not of this body. These material desires are just a natural byproduct of having this material body. But if I realize that this body is not me, I'm something different than this body, I'm pure spirit, and actually I am an eternal servant of Krishna. If I can just remember this, then naturally I will begin to take more remembrance of Krishna. So, Prabhupada gives a very some heavy points in this purport, especially the last sentence. One who is attached to material contamination cannot be a devotee. So, it's not only attachment to matter, but attachment to the contamination from matter. So, we have to see where we're at. Am I still attached to my conditioning, my contamination? If I am, then I can't be a devotee. I'm not a devotee. I'm not at the platform of being a devotee, and I will not be at the platform of being a devotee until I've accepted that I'm a servant to God and my material contamination is gone and I'm engaging in pure devotional service. That's what a devotee means, actually. Devotee means one who's fully engaged in the service of Guru and Krishna. So we have to kind of check ourselves. Where am I at right now? Am I still attached to my contamination? Am I still attached to enjoying? If I am, this is a really pathetic situation that I'm in. And if I am serious, then I have to work towards getting out of it. And how do I do that? Well, we had to beg for the mercy. We had to beg for the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, Srila Prabhupada, the Sampradaya-acharyas, our spiritual master, the sadhus, everybody, Krishna, everybody. We had to beg from them to become pure. It's interesting, we can also actually beg our mind. There's a really nice bhajan. Bhajahure mana, Sri Nandanandana, Abhaya Chadanada Vindure. Saying, my dear mind, please just engage yourself in the divine service of the son of Nanda Maharaj. You've been dragging yourself across this material world for so long. Now mind, please engage yourself in the service of the divine son of Nanda Maharaj. So we can beg the sadhus, we can beg Krishna, but we can also beg our mind. And we have to beg for devotional service. We shouldn't beg for anything else. My spiritual master makes a really funny point on this. Some people, he's kind of teasing some people who have this mentality. He sings this little song that he's making fun of some people's consciousness. It goes like this. Give me a Cadillac, a brand new Cadillac, replete with Michelin tire. Give my wife a new silk sari. Give my kids a Harvard education. Give me a house by the sea. Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare. So this is completely foolish mentality, begging for all these things, a nice house, nice something to please my wife, make my kids be educated. We're simply wasting our time if we're asking for these things. These things are not going to make us happy. They'll bring us misery in the end. Even if Krishna gives them to us. He might give them to us and then rip it away from us. So we learn to become detached from it. So better to skip that step of begging for that and beg that I can be eternally engaged in the service of Guru and Krishna. We should not be casual in our Krishna consciousness. My spiritual master was trained by Vishnu Janaswami for the first few years of his Krishna consciousness. And he says that Vishnu Janaswami always used to tell him being casual means casualty. So if we're too casual with our Krishna consciousness, we'll bloop out, we'll be gone. The material energy will engulf us. But that being said, we also have to know where we're at. We can't necessarily get on the Be Sannyasi Now program because that might also burn us out. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be casual. I should know what I can do, what I can perform, and I should do it wholeheartedly, fully engaged, and do what I can, and do what I gotta do to be engaged in Lord Chaitanya's re-spiritualization of this entire material world. So I should try to live my life in such a way that I can save myself so that I can save others. Because first I have to save myself. Physician, heal thyself is a common, proverb you could call it. So first I have to save myself before I can even begin to think about saving others. I have to become serious in my chanting of 16 rounds, in my dedication to this ISKCON movement, to remaining a devotee. And in such a way, if I become fully engaged in the service, fully fixed up, fully on a platform of pure devotional service, at least an attempt of pure devotional service, then I'm qualified to save others. But also at the same time, it doesn't mean that I can't go out and distribute books and I can't go out and chant Harinam, because that's also a purification process. So we should work on saving myself by performing the purification process of Harinam, Sankirtan, Japa, all these things. So therefore we can have an uplifting impact on this entire material planet, because that's what Lord Chaitanya came to do. He came to deliver this planet. He came to deliver me. He came to deliver all of us. So we should also work towards accepting that mercy so that we can push forward this movement, so that way this whole world will be Krishna conscious rather sooner than later. So we should get on a Get Taste Now program, not Get Taste Later program, take things cheaply. Oh, I'll become serious later. No, I should become serious right now. Right now, I need to become serious because I'm suffering in this material world. I'm bewildered by the material energy. I'm so attracted to the material energy. I don't have a taste for Hare Krishna, for Krishna consciousness. That's why I'm attracted to this material energy. So if I get on a Get Taste Now program, hearing and chanting every single moment of the day, however is possible, if I like to hear philosophy, then I should hear classes all day. If I like to hear kirtan, I should hear just kirtan all day. If I like to work really hard, I should find myself just working really hard all day for Krishna. So that way the taste will come sooner. If the taste comes sooner, then we'll be able to spread this movement quicker also, because the world will become attracted to our taste. So I should stop chasing stool and this material energy, because that's all it is. And I should start chasing pure bhakti, following the bona fide spiritual master. I shouldn't try to enjoy in this material world where there is no enjoyment, because that is completely foolish. The only enjoyment here in this material world is maya sukhaya, illusory happiness. It comes and it goes. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. You can grip onto it just for a few moments, and then it all slips away. So we should realize this, that as soon as we're born, we begin to die. So there's no point trying to hold on to things, because from the moment you're born, you begin the process of dying. We're born to live, but we're born to want to live, but still we're forced to die. So we should understand that. Stick to this process of Krishna consciousness. Hear and chant as much as possible, and realize that the real goal of life is to attain the service of Krishna. I mean, this is like a really sick, twisted world that we're born into, and still we're trying to enjoy it. I have some fun facts about this material world that maybe would be a little bit inspiring to try to give it up. So I did some research on this material world. About a month ago, I saw that there was a mass mall stabbing in Australia. Some man walked into a mall, grabbed a knife, and just started stabbing people. A few days later in Australia, a archbishop of the Orthodox Christian faith, very nice man trying to, teach genuine knowledge of God, was giving a sermon at the front of the church or synagogue, I'm not sure what they call it. But yeah, he was, trying his best to spread this God consciousness to people. And some young man just walks in through the door and stabs him in the face, like multiple times, like just in the face, stabbing him. He lost his eye. I haven't looked into this in like a month or so, but at least shortly after, he was wearing an eye patch. He was okay. He didn't die by God's mercy, but still, that's the mentality of this material world. Also, not to mention, in 2022, over 4,000 people attempted suicide every single day. That's a lot of people just coming to a point of saying, yeah, I just want to die. So they actually attempt to kill themselves. And out of those, over 300 died every single day in America. 2022. Also, in 2023, there was 340 school shootings. Oh my God, okay, at least it wasn't one a day. 365 days in a year, whew, big, we've dodged a bullet there. Actually, no, that's wrong, because there's 180 days in a school year average, so that's almost 2 shootings a day in a school. I mean, people are going completely crazy. They just decide to just get a gun and go murder children. It's crazy. There was also 1.23 million abortions in 2023, almost 500,000 rapes, almost 250,000 children were molested in 2023. I even knew someone whose mother used to molest him. So this is a really dark world that we live in. So we're very, very fortunate to have been in contact with this Krishna consciousness movement. Therefore, we should take it as our prime duty, our number one duty, to become fully pure, to give up this material world, because these statistics are what this material world is made of. And it's a really dark, dark, dark place. So we should take this as our life and soul to surrender under the bona fide spiritual master, to take to this Krishna consciousness movement very, very seriously, and to bring this light that we have very fortunately found to the whole material existence. Because if we don't, it'll only continue on. So we have to become selfless, not selfish, with this Krishna consciousness movement, and share it with the entire world, become fixed up, and teach others how to do so. So we have about 10 minutes left. Thank you for hearing. If anybody would like to add any points, maybe I've said anything incorrectly, and anybody would like to add, subtract, or fill in any gaps, please do so now. Hare Krishna. Sorry, we're waiting for the mic because millions of people are tuned in online.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. There's not millions, but there's plenty of people online.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. This is all just very funny. I don't know. I feel like I've been talking to God my whole life. I literally just got out of the mental hospital, you know, and then when I got out, I went to the barber shop and I cut my hair like this because I was just done with what my family wanted my hair to be. But I don't know. I think you're very nervous and you don't need to be. But I get it because I have anxiety too. My father told me all of these confusing things, and when I try to cling to all of them, I ended up in the mental hospital. But you know, it's all right. You're trying your best, but it's just I think you're already there because either I'm crazy or I'm already there too. I can't go to sleep because I'll die. But sorry, that sounds kind of crazy. But you know, don't worry about it. It's not that deep, you know.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's actually, in the Krishna conscious perspective, it's healthy to be anxious because this material world is a place of anxiety. So we should be anxious to get free from this material entanglement and to enter into Krishna's divine Leela. Thank you for your comment. Anybody else has anything they'd like to add? From Chandra Prabhu?
Thank you for the nice class, Prabhu. So in the purport, it's mentioned that, you know, first we need to have a knowledge, right? So once we have the right knowledge, then automatically the renunciation follows. Automatically the devotion also follows because now we have the right knowledge, right? And the person also surrenders to Krishna and performs. So the thing is that even the surrender is something which should be done in full knowledge. I mean, you can't surrender without full knowledge, right? So that is why in the chapter 18 also, Arjuna, you know, at the last chapter, we see Arjuna surrendering to Krishna, like, you know, I'm going to do whatever you say, right? So that's what he says. But at the same time, in the chapter 2 also, we see Arjuna surrendering. I mean, we see two surrenders, one in the chapter 2, one in the chapter 18. Like one without knowledge, apparently, or one with knowledge. So this seems to be sometimes like a paradoxical, like, right? Because you want to surrender, but surrender is a byproduct of knowledge. But in the beginning, you don't really have knowledge, but you're still asking to surrender. You see that statement? So how do you understand this?
Oh, what's your answer, Prabhu? This is a question I would probably ask you.
Well, I mean, I would have others answer, but it's just, you know, there are more qualified, you know.
I think Archita has a point.
Ado Shraddha, that's where faith is required. It's just like when you go to a doctor, you have faith that he's going to do the right thing. You know the result you want to be cured. You want the operation to be successful if an operation is required. So you go somewhere where you have faith that the result that you want will happen. So you have to at least have enough knowledge, like you were saying, that your whole class is based on that. That you have to know that you're in a bad situation. Stop trying to enjoy here. it's a bad place. So if you have that much knowledge, then you have to find some place, someone where you have enough faith that they can get you out. That's the first surrender. If you actually accept that this person can get you out, then you have to surrender and do what they tell you. Prabhupada used the example of being in a well. If you're in a well and they come to save you, you have to do what they tell you. Grab onto the rope. If you start arguing that, I don't like this rope, it's the wrong color, or, somebody over here wants to tell me something and I don't have time right now to hold it, then of course you're going to drown. So you have to have enough faith that this person is actually going to save me. They're not going to hang me. And just do what they tell you. Grab the rope and I'll pull you out. So the spiritual master comes to give us the rope to get out of the dark well of material existence. That's the first surrender. Surrender to his attempt to take you out. And then when you do that and you actually see the result, then the 18th chapter comes in. Nashta moha smriti labda tat prasada mayachita. My illusion is gone. Nashta moha, my illusion is gone. Why? Because of your mercy. So you see that. You get the result, illusion is gone. Now you can see things clearly. And you give credit where it's due to the spiritual master, or if it's Krishna directly, like in Arjuna's case. But first, Arjuna had to have enough faith to surrender, to hear what Krishna had to say, and then follow it. And then by hearing and following, then he comes to that point in the 18th chapter where Nashta moha smriti labda tat prasada mayachita. Okay?
Jai. Anybody else? I heard a nice kind of analogy similar to that. It's like, first you might not have much faith, but you have an idea of where you want to go. Like, let's say you want to go to downtown Culver City or something like that. I'm brand new to the area, so I might go and approach someone and ask them, how do I get there? And they say, well, you're going to go straight out this temple room doors. You're going to take a left. You're going to see Venice Boulevard. Then you'll cross. And they'll give some directions like that. So you have just like a little bit of faith, and that you at least ask the guy. And then you start walking, and you see everything he's telling you is true. So, then you develop more faith, and you have knowledge and realization of actually how to get to the desired destination. So that's a nice analogy similar to what you're saying. But any other points? We have a few minutes. Okay, I guess we'll end a little bit early today. Thank you for hearing. Hare Krishna.